Is it 2008 all over again? Here's my quick answer to get you into the video. No, it's not. It's not 2008 all over again, okay? But as usual, before I give you all the reasons, and not reasons, before I give you the factual proof as to why we are not repeating 2008 again, it's just not happening. First thing I want you to do is subscribe. There's that subscribe button right below this video. Click the subscribe button. I have hundreds of videos like this covering anything from building businesses to mortgages, houses, real estate, whatever you want. Subscribe, like it, comment on it. Put your comment in here. If you disagree with me, you're allowed to disagree with me, okay? You're allowed to disagree, I just might not comment. No, I'm joking with you. But comment, share it on your page, share it with your friends, and I appreciate everything you do. So let's go to the reasons. Why is this not 2008 again? Well, while I'm doing this video right now, it's 2022, of course, okay? Let's go through the reasons why real estate is not about to experience some gigantic crash as we did back in 2008. Now, mind you, I'm gonna back it up even sooner than that. The crash actually began in around August of 2005. So it didn't start in 2008. 2008 is when it just massacred everything, okay? So it built up and built up and built up. Let me start with this one here. Let me give you some data, okay? Let me give you some data. In 2008, well, let's start with unemployment. In 2010, unemployment peaked at around 10%, okay? Even leading up to 2007, 8, 9, 10, unemployment was in the 5, 6, 7s, 8s, got up to pretty much 10%, okay? Right now, unemployment, we could debate this all day long. I know a ton of people watching me are gonna say, Hash, I don't believe the unemployment data that the government gives us, the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Good, neither do I, okay? I don't believe any of it, if you wanna know the truth, okay? But that's for a different conversation, a different video. You have to accept what you're given. By the way, there's also another thing called underemployed. Not just unemployed, underemployed. What is underemployed? And by the way, underemployed was a term that came out back during the Great Recession, which was 2007, 2008, and the window of real estate was, quite honestly, 2006 to 2012, for God's sakes, okay? But underemployed was somebody who was more qualified for the job they were doing, and they were being paid at a significantly lower wage, and that was underemployed. So you truly have to factor in unemployed and underemployed if you really want a true look at what employment looks like. But again, I have to use the data they give us because that's the data we have, and you've got to work with what you have, okay? So unemployment right now is in the mid 3s. I think they say it's around like 3.6% or something like that. Now, unemployment, as of right now, inflation's a different story, and we're gonna get to inflation, but unemployment today is nowhere near, not even close to what it was. And I'm not talking about the peak of what it was at. I'm talking apples to apples for where even it was averaging in the 5, 6s. Then that's when it started exploding up. We're not even close to that. So number one reason this is not 2008. Unemployment is nowhere near what it was back at that time. Let me give you the second reason we're not repeating 2008 again, okay? In the years leading up to the Great Recession, let me go back in time, okay? There was a law that was passed called Gramm-Leach-Bliley, okay? Passed in 1999. I want to say, I'm going to be wrong about this date, forgive me for this one. I think it was November 12th of 1999, I think it was. Gramm-Leach-Bliley was passed. It overturned a law from 1934 called the Glass-Steagall Act. Now, the truth of the matter is Gramm-Leach-Bliley by itself did not crush the whole market by getting rid of Glass-Steagall. They started disassembling Glass-Steagall in the 1950s, for God's sakes, okay? I could show you a talk that Paul Volcker gave when he was the chairman of the Fed back in the 80s, when he went over Glass-Steagall and the importance of it and how they were trying to deconstruct it and take it apart. So Gramm-Leach-Bliley didn't just ruin the whole world, but I'll tell you what, it sure didn't help, that's for sure. Well, the unraveling in real estate, I'm not talking about the auto industry or stuff like that. In real estate, as it goes, the lending became so extreme, we didn't feel that until, so the lending we did in the year 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004, 2005, we didn't feel that until 2006, 7, 8, 9, 10, okay? So the lending leading up to the crash back then was 1,000 times different than the lending I'll say, let's just pretend that some people are saying, is this a crash right now? No, this is not a crash. There's no housing recession. None of that, all that stuff is just pure garbage, okay? Everything's very, very straightforward right now, okay? The lending right now, I've been doing mortgages the same since January 1st of 2007. The lending since 2007, now listen to this one, it's 2022 right now, okay? This video will be out there for eternity, but at the end of the day, as of right now, the lending for the last 15 years has been the same for 15 years leading up to today. Going into the Great Recession, the lending became more extreme, more extreme, more extreme, more extreme, aggressively more extreme. So the mortgage lending that was being done leading up to the crash is so dramatically different than today. I'm lending the same today that I was 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago. The example I always give people, or the analogy I always give people is this: go on a diet for the next 15 years of your life. Live super, super clean, okay? Live super clean. I got news for you, in 15 years, you're gonna be pretty healthy, okay? My industry has been lending like that for 15 straight years. So the reason this is not 2008 all over again is because the lending getting us to where we are today is not even remotely close to what it was back then. That's the second reason. Let me give you the third reason. The average sales price of a home, the median sales price of a home in 1991, and again, I don't have my cheat sheets with me, I probably should, right? But the median sales price of a home in the United States, I want to say back in 1991, it was $100,000, okay? By 2006, it peaked at $216,000. Because right now people are talking about, the home prices are overinflated, nobody can afford it. BS, okay? We actually have a test in my industry called ability to repay. Every single loan we give, conventional, FHA, VA, USDA, every single one of those loans has a measurement for affordability, whether you like it or you don't like it, okay? We've got one, and you should be thanking God we do, and we've been doing this for the last 15 years. That's why the delinquency rates are so low. But let's go back to this anyways, okay? From an affordability standpoint, median home price, 1991, $100,000. By 2006, 15 years later, the median home price was $216,000. That's more than double the price from 1991. So in a 15-year window, homes more than doubled in price. Since that time in 2006, $216,000. Right now, as of today, 2022, the median price of a home in the United States is like around $389,000. That is not more than double the growth experienced in the same 15-year window. So reason number three, home prices outside of especially the last 2 years have not dramatically shot up over this period of time at all. And by the way, because of the lending that's still being done, appraisals that are getting done, right now the market is turning more into a buyer's market. So the truth is, home prices, they're not receding, they're not going down. And I hate this when people talk. I have a video on, is there a housing recession? I hate that one, okay? Go watch my video, you'll see how angry I got. For that one, I was wearing my AC/DC high voltage shirt. For this one, I'm throwing some love back out there to Ronnie James Dio, okay? You gotta love some Dio if you're that old and you know who he is. So anyways, third reason again, home prices are not overinflated. No question, people going over asking price, not good, but it wasn't sustained for a long period of time. It was like that for the last year, okay? Last year and a half, at the levels it was. That's the third reason. Let me give you a fourth reason, okay? More than half of the foreclosures in the United States in 2010 were investors, okay? There were too many investors, as I said in another video I did actually, going to too many boot camps, okay? I would see all these ads for investor boot camp, come and learn how to flip houses. And they would pay, God knows, $2,000. I've actually got one of them at my house. They'd pay $2,000 to go watch some guy stand in front of them and talk about how he was making $50,000 a flip and he's making millions of dollars. And that lured all these people in. And lured's probably the wrong word because we're all adults, okay? We're all adults at the end of the day. You're an adult, you know what you're doing, okay? And if you don't know what you're doing, don't do it. but pulls all those adults in, pulls those people into investing. The problem became my industry was feeding out the loans. I did the loans too. I'm not sitting here saying, I was doing the loans, okay? And by the way, I am more than happy to have a conversation with anyone over the lending back then. People say, Khash, you gave loans to a bunch of people you shouldn't have given loans to. There's something called fair lending and discrimination also. We can get into all of that, okay? You're probably not prepared for that, okay? But trust me, I'll talk that game all day long with you. But nonetheless, the loans that were given that were available, unfortunately made it too easy for investors to get into the market, which ultimately resulted in more than half of the foreclosures being investors. Since January 1st of 2007, investors have been eviscerated from the market. When it comes to getting a traditional mortgage loan, if you're an investor, you are jumping through 10,000 hoops to get mortgage financing. Now, can you still go to hard money and things like that and go get loans that way? Sure you can, but you're not coming to a traditional lender and pulling down and buying 5 investment properties at one time when in fact you work for UPS or FedEx and then you're buying 5 houses at a time and they're rental properties. That's been gone for 15 years. So another reason this market is not like 2008 is because the investor concentration is dramatically lower, okay? I can keep going on in this. As a matter of fact, I'm probably gonna keep going on this one, okay? Another one, the loan types, the types of loans, the loans given, the different documentation types for the loans. There's so many different reasons. This market today, this is not 2008 all over again. It is not even close to 2008 again. The average credit score, by the way, here's one for you. I'm being a little bit off on the number here, but I wanna say that the default rate on subprime loans back in 2009 was found to be around 12%. I wanna say that was the number. I could be a little bit off, but when you start giving a ton of data, and I don't have my cheat notes with me, I might be a little skewed on the data, but I don't think I am. This is from the Cleveland Federal Reserve Board, by the way. The default rate on subprime loans at that time was 12%. Think about this. So 12 out of every 100 homes would go into foreclosure if it was a subprime loan. 12 out of every 100. Doesn't sound like a huge number. I mean, it's a decent sized number. Let's blow it up a little bit. That's 120 out of 10,000. That's 1,200 out of 100,000. That's 12,000. I'm losing some of my numbers here, but you get my picture. It's 12 out of every 100, okay? Subprime loans, they've been gone since 2007. Since January 1st, 2007, those loans are gone. You know what the delinquency and default rate is on subprime loans for the last 15 years? 0, nothing, it's zip, okay, it's 0. Compare that to a 12% default rate. So you tell me, for the loans that are out there, there's 0 subprimes. Those don't exist, they haven't existed for 15 years. Here's another piece of data for you too. I'll give you one more reason before I close out this video here. One more reason. Delinquency rates on mortgages and foreclosure rates in the United States today is right around 2%, okay? Back in 2009, 10, 7, 8, 9, 10, it was peaking around 11 to 12 to 13% delinquency and foreclosure rates, okay, combined. So the rate of default back then, you're talking, it was 600 times or whatever percentages you want to use, not even remotely close. I want to say I've given you 6 reasons as to why this is not 2008 all over again. And let me finish it with this one here. If you're a buyer in this market right now, this is your opportunity to get into a house. Do you want to know why it's your best opportunity that's existed for the last couple of years to get into a house? Simple. There's almost no investors getting into the market right now. Investors are out. Cash buyers are somewhat out. Big down payment conventional buyers are somewhat out. You're getting back to a traditional, balanced, normal market. The market is normalizing. That's giving first-time home buyers especially, or people who don't have gigantic down payments, an opportunity that they haven't had. This is your best opportunity to get in. And if you're sitting here yelling at the camera saying, Khash, but the rates are higher. You're damn right they're higher. They are higher. But over historical averages, they're still ridiculously low. And at the end of the day, you know what the best part is? You can always refinance the loan when rates go back down, because I'll tell you this one, rates will go back down. In a couple years, we're watching this video again, 2 to 4 years, my prediction. Rates are gonna come back down. What goes up must come down. That's the way it is. At the end of the day, this is not 2008 all over again. Pay attention to the data. Pay attention to the statistics. Don't listen to every doom and gloomer out there that is praying to God for the whole market to crash and erupt on itself, okay? This market's a great market. This is not 2008 all over again. Like, share, and comment on this post. Subscribe to my page and keep following the upcoming videos. And I hope you're getting some information out of these, and we'll be seeing you again on the next one.